Hi, welcome back. In these videos, I want to talk about two very important documents as quickly as I can in the next several videos. And those two documents are the course syllabus and the course calendar. I'll show you where you can get those. If you go to our Canvas page in the modules, you will see a link to it right here, syllabus and course calendar. Click on that and then download these two Word documents. This is the course syllabus right here. This is the course calendar right here. And so please get those documents, download those documents, read those documents very closely. It's not my intention to read them to you word for word in these videos. I want to try to save some time and just quickly highlight key information that I want you to know and talk about some things. So in this video, I'm gonna start by looking at the syllabus course information. In the next video, I'll continue talking about the syllabus, and then in a third video, I will end by talking about the course calendar. So here is the course syllabus. This is my name, Dr. Joseph Hassert, Dr. Joe, Professor Hassert. All those are fine. You can just call me Joe. That's fine as well. If you'd like, you can email me directly at my email address here. You can also contact me with the Canvas Messenger. This is a public speaking course. It's called Oral Communication, but the oral communication that we're interested in is public speeches, one-to-many speaking. And so this class will teach you how to do that well. We have a textbook that is free. That's great news. It's an open access free textbook. It's available at this link, and there's also some links in the module that will take you to a downloadable PDF. So we'll read the majority of this book, but we're going to read the chapters in a unique order that I've arranged, so pay attention to the course calendar documents to find out what the readings are. Reading the text is super important because it will help you with each assignment. There's going to be some reading comprehension quizzes for each of the chapters that we read, and the chapters themselves are about crafting public speeches, so they're going to help you on the speeches as well. So take notes, pay attention to key terms and concepts, and apply what you're reading to your speech-making process. Course rationale I just performed in the previous video that you watched. I want to talk for a second about how to communicate with me. I just want you to consider your situation before you decide to reach out to me, and that will help you decide which way you want to reach out to me. So the first way I want to talk about is what's called the Common Course Questions discussion board. In the discussion section on Canvas, there'll be a discussion board titled Common Course Questions. If you have a common question that other students might want to hear and get the answer to as well, post it there, and then we can avoid kind of asking the same questions over and over and over again. So if you have a question about, say, one of the requirements for one of the speeches, you can post it in that discussion board. If you know the answer to it, you can answer another student's question. I'll check and I'll make sure that your answer is accurate, and I'll add any clarifying information as the semester goes on. So take Common Course questions to the Common Course question discussion board. If you have something more personal directly about you and your performance in this class, or some other personal issues, Canvas email, Canvas Messenger, or directly to my email, either way is a good way to contact me with something personal. And the third thing I want you to consider is if you have a question about a particular graded assignment, I've given you some feedback, you didn't understand that feedback, you can ask a question on that assignment itself. So each of the assignment pages have a comments section that you can use to ask questions about my feedback. So I will be checking in with the class throughout the week, and I generally respond relatively quickly to emails. You can read more about that there. Here's a list of the materials that you're going to need. A computer. Yeah, you'll need a computer for this online class. How about that? You're going to need something to be able to record video, because the speeches, what you'll do is you're going to record a video of yourself giving the speech, and then you're going to upload that video to YouTube, and then you'll submit the YouTube link to your video to Canvas. That's what you'll turn in to me, is the YouTube link to your video. So you must have some video recording equipment for this class. Student learning objectives are listed here. They all relate to crafting public speeches. Here's a list of some of the skills that you'll need to be successful in this course, as well as a list of the qualities of a successful student. So I kind of lay out here what are some good student practices that you might want to adopt. Okay, talk a little bit about this chart here of major assignments in the course. It's going to tell you each of the major assignments and their point values. What I want to point out to you right now is just notice how much of the points come from speech 1, 2, and 3. Speech 1 is worth 100 points. Speech 2, 150. It has an outline that's associated with it that's worth 50 points. Same thing for speech number 3. So a large bulk of your grade comes directly from public speaking assignments. So you got to do the speeches in this class if you're going to be successful. There'll be quizzes, as I mentioned, for each of the chapters that we read, as well as there'll be 3 what I call concept quizzes throughout the semester that will ask you about larger concepts across the different chapters we read during certain weeks. There'll be a final exam at the end of the semester that's based on the reading comprehension quizzes. And there's some other miscellaneous assignments down here. After this chart in the syllabus, I give an explanation of each of these assignments, a short explanation. Each of these assignments will also have an assignment prompt and a Canvas assignment page that will contain information about those assignments. The class is out of 1,000, so it's pretty easy to calculate your grade at the end of the semester out of 1,000 points. I round up to the nearest whole number. And then I assign you a letter grade based on where the whole number that I've rounded to falls in this range here. So notice I do use plus and minus system in this class. Keep track of your grades throughout the semester. Pay attention if you're not turning in assignments. You should expect that those assignments will be given a 0 at some point. So pay attention to your grade throughout the semester. Keep up on the work. Talk a little bit about some of the assignments a little more closely. Excuse me. There'll be 3 speeches this semester: a speech of introduction, an informative speech, and a persuasive speech. For each of these speech assignments, I will give you a general assignment prompt that will give you clear written instructions on how to deliver the speech and craft the speech. I'll also give a detailed video lecture about that speech assignment. The speech assignment prompt will have a rubric that will show you exactly how I will score your speech. And with each of the speeches, I give you a sample speech outline. Now for speech number 1, there's no assigned outline. There's no outline for a grade, so it's your choice whether you want to outline speech number 1. But for speeches 2 and 3, there will be a graded outline required for each of those speeches. And I'll give you a sample speech outline for all 3 speeches. Please note the following speech submission requirements. It will be 11:59 on the day that the video submission is due. That's the last minute you can get your video uploaded, right? So just pay attention to the cutoff and the deadline for each of the speech submissions. And when you are posting your video to YouTube, it's important to remember to set your video to either public or unlisted. Public means it would be kind of listed and people might be able to search for it. Unlisted means it will be very hard for other people to find your video. So I recommend unlisted, but don't set your video to private because then I won't be able to watch it. And eventually, if that doesn't get fixed, that will get you a 0 because I can't grade a speech I can't watch. Please keep in mind that makeup speeches are not guaranteed. If you are late on a speech submission deadline, then I'm going to want to see some documentation or explanation, and it's better that you talk to me ahead of time on these sorts of things. I do not guarantee a score for late submissions. Speech outlines, as I mentioned before, there'll be outlines for speeches 2 and 3. Please note that for those speeches, the due date for the outline is going to be the Monday before the due date of the speech. Right? So the due date of the speech will be on a Sunday, and so the Monday of that week before that Sunday is when you're going to turn in your outlines. So I want you to write your outlines ahead of time and give yourself plenty of time to be able to rehearse and practice the speech so that you're not scrambling to do your rehearsal at the last minute. Okay, if you don't submit your speech 2 or 3 outline on time, I won't grade your speech. So I want you to do the outline ahead of time, practice, 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 rehearse, and then submit your video. Okay. Reading comprehension quizzes, there'll be some quizzes for each of the textbooks. You're going to need the Respondus Lockdown browser. The Respondus Lockdown browser, I believe I've already talked about. There's instructions in the modules for how to download that for all of the quizzes, because you'll need to run that. If you have any technical problems, you can call the helpline. 3 concept quizzes I mentioned, be kind of broad, more higher level thinking quizzes. There'll be 3 of them throughout the semester. So there's also a plagiarism quiz that you'll take after you do a workshop called Understanding and Avoiding Plagiarism. There'll be a final exam at the end of the semester. I will be asking for your topic and thesis statements for speeches 2 and 3 ahead of time. There are these things called student lingo certificates. You'll be doing a series of 3 of these workshops, and there are instructions for how to find this in the modules here. So you have one coming up this week, communicating effectively online, that you'll need to do. There'll also be some graded discussions throughout the semester, discussion boards that will have directions for how you can contribute. And there'll be an exercise on Monroe's motivated sequence towards the end of the semester, a little short assignment. Okay, I'm going to stop this video here, and I'm going to pick up in the next video talking about course policies and resources.